This video, I'm going to show you how to write the equation of a parabola when given its graph. So you can see this has already been graphed for us. We see the vertices at 4, -2. This is the outermost point of the parabola. And then they've given us just this random point on the parabola that it passes through, which is 3, 4. So over 3, up 4. Okay, so how do we find the equation? Well, first of all, we know that there are two equations we can use, this one or this one, and it all depends on which way the graph is facing. Is it going left or right, up and down? Well, I can see this is going facing left, so I know I'm going to use this one where the y comes first. And if I just thought about it, if I looked and said, well, the directrix has to go this way. It's got to go up and down vertically, and it's got to go on the outside of the parabola. It can't go over here because it would run through the parabola, it would touch it. It can't go here or here. It has to go on the outside, and in this case it's going to go vertically up and down. So I know that I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to write that formula down, or that equation down. So I have y minus k squared equals 4 times p times x minus h, not squared. Okay, so if you remember p is the distance between the vertices and the directrix, wherever that is, or the vertices and the focus, wherever that is. Okay, now we don't have any of that information, but we do have this random point, 3, 4. Well, guess what? That's an x and that's a y. I can take that x and y and I can substitute it in right here, and then I have this, which is h and k, so I can substitute also the h and k in here, and I can solve for p easily. So I'm going to substitute x and y here and h and k, because remember, h and k is always the vertices. Don't confuse the two. H and k is the vertices, 3 and 4 is just some random point x, y. So I'm just going to plug it in. So y, which is 4 minus k, which is 2, so it's a -2, so it changes to a positive, squared, equals 4 times p times x, which is 3, minus h, which is 4, not squared. Okay, you see where I got this positive? It was a negative y minus k, but that negative ran into it, so negative times a negative is positive. So now I have 6 squared equals 4 times p times -1. Okay, now I can square this 6 and I get 36 equals 4 times p times -1. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to divide both sides by -1 just to get rid of that -1. So now I end up with -36 equals 4 times p. And then 4 and p are multiplying together, so in order to solve for p, I'm going to undo it with division. That crosses out, and I get p equals -9. So now that I have, now that I have -9, I can just plug in everything else. I have my h and my k. I can just plug everything else back in this formula, and I've got my p, and then I can solve. So I have y minus k, which is -2, so that ends up being plus 2 squared equals 4 times p, which is -9, times x minus, what, h, not squared. Just following that little formula right there. And so now all I have to do is just multiply this, and that's it. That's the answer how Alex is going to want you to put it in. So I have y plus 2 squared equals -36 times x minus 4, and that is the equation of this parabola given its graph.